Hello and welcome to Mini Bloks. You're watching Mini Bloks vlogs. This is the floor, that's the TV, Spider-Man's over there, because that's where he belongs. And today, it might actually be Monday, but I'm recording this on the Saturday beforehand because it's convenient. But last Wednesday, 7th of September, was something called PlayStation Meeting 2016, and therefore I want to kind of keep this vlog more or less about the announcement of PS Pro and the PS4 Slim, but also kind of just a generalistic video game chat. I grew up a Sega kid. There's a point to this. The first console I ever owned was the Master System, and then upgraded to the Mega Drive, and then I went to the PlayStation. Couldn't tell you what year I got it. I know it'd been out for maybe a year before I actually finally got one. Christmas. It was a good Christmas. Got Tekken and Casper and Destruction Derby. Casper! But basically I want to say, like, I had the PlayStation, and funny enough, my original PlayStation broke. Now that might be down to the fact that I was a kid and I had adult influences telling me to about covered games and things, so you put the little spring in the machine. I kind of regret that. My PlayStation broke. It might have not been linked to anything to do with it, but at the same time, I wouldn't do that thing now. So anyway, so that was the PlayStation, and it broke. And then PlayStation had released the PS1, the nice little cute slimmed down white version of the original PlayStation. So that's what I upgraded to because it was the cheaper option, and also I'm fairly sure they just rolled out the original console. So if you bought an original PlayStation, you bought a little PS1. Good little console. That also broke. PS2. Again, I was about a year late to PS2, but I went to the PS2. My original PS2, which was the fat version, broke, funny enough. I then got a second PS2, which was another good day. My dad actually just found one. It was on offer in Woolworths back in the day, and he picked me one up. I'm fairly sure I gave him some money for it as well, but it was a very unexpected gift to come back to a PS2, because I remember it distinctly. It was just after the Christmas, and I think, yes, just after the Christmas, and I had Vice City, which I had since September, I believe it launched, which would have been 2000 and something, a while ago. And then for Christmas I got WWF SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. They were my two favorite games. I loved playing them to bits. And then obviously my PS2 broke, which is kind of convenient. I got a new PS2. Funny enough, that one also broke. It was a motor problem. I think I had the first one, I tried to get the first one repaired a number of times. It never worked. It worked for a little bit and then just broke. Anyway, so after that, I then got the PS2 Slim, the little Slim, perfectly fine. I only got that one, same as I got the PS1, is because my original one just stopped working. Yay for electronics and short console life cycles. And then obviously the PS3. And the PS3 to me is my favorite PlayStation console. It's probably my favorite console of all time. It's special to me for a number of different reasons. It's the very first console that I went out and bought with my own money. I saved up for it, and that was a super awesome special day. It was Saturday, I believe the 27th of July, 2007. It hadn't been out long in the UK. I think it came out in March of that year, and this was the first significant price drop of, I believe it cost me £390 to get two of the 6-axis controllers, and then my choice of two games, which was MotorStorm and Resistance Fall of Man. It was a good day, very good day, and I loved that console, and I just loved that library of games. And I honestly, this is kind of where I want to get into this whole topic, is because PS3 to me is Sony in its prime. Now this is Sony dropping off, obviously, because the PlayStation big hit, PS2 massive hit, PS3 they got absolutely trounced by the Xbox 360, because all of the people that I knew, all my friends, they jumped on the 360 bandwagon. Some of them immediately, because games like Oblivion went straight on console with 360, and versus trying to buy a top-end PC to play it, he went straight for the 360. And then my other friends bought it because one, it was next gen, and two, because PS3 was still this distant thing. It's coming out at some point, maybe in the next year, and everyone had already thought, oh, Bioshock, Oblivion, and Mass Effect. So yeah, it kind of sucked. Dead Rising, there was a whole lot of games, and I was playing all these games, even Call of Duty 2 and stuff on the 360, and all my friends had it, and it was like, that's awesome. I'm still gonna wait for the PS3 though, because Metal Gear Solid 4, and I'm a PlayStation guy. So Xbox 360 might be great, but PS3, and especially Metal Gear Solid 4, sold. I shall wait. Although it was a depressing day when it was my friend's birthday, and we went to go see Spider-Man 3 in the cinema for his birthday. And on the same day, they launched the Activision Spider-Man 3 game, and obviously we all went out to go buy it. Everyone bought Next Gen Spidey 3, and I took home my PS2 version. So yes, I saved about 15 quid from what they paid, but I was severely downgraded. But the PS3 to me is a super special console. I guess it is the console that really got me involved in loving sites like IGN. Podcast Beyond became a part of my life during that PS3 era. So I sort of grew up with those guys. So the PS3 became really special for that, and it's because Sony was this massive company and it was kind of the underdog, although it was somewhat more powerful. And to me, it was because PS3 was just pumping out all of these awesome games, first-party games that just appealed to me. Whereas 360 had a lot of games, but none of them appealed to me, apart from Mass Effect. I will not forget that January when the Mass Effect 2 trailer launched on PS3. But anyway, so PS3 was like a frustrating time, because I always enjoyed the E3 press conferences, but you could definitely see where they were just not connecting. And also, again, it was the PS3 era was when I was getting involved with the PlayStation community, with IGN and with Podcast Beyond. So yeah, they dropped the ball quite a lot. But considering they dropped the ball from like the massive audience looking at it, the PlayStation 3 to me was just this awesome special console that was really, it just meant so much to me, and I think it's all the different aspects of it meant that console meant something to me. Anyway, long story short, my PS3 Fat also broke. Blue Ring of Death, I was just playing my way through The Last of Us, and my girlfriend was around at the time. I'd paused it, we were just talking, and then I was like, oh, that's fine, I'll just turn it back on. Oh, it doesn't work. Damn. And then ate my game. But I managed to get it fixed though, thank you. A friend of a friend repaired it for 30 quid, and it still works to this day. However, I did decide that I do not want to risk my saves and games in the console. So I bought myself the PS3 Super Slim. But the Super Slim has its problems, you know. I love the design of the original PS3. I will stand by it. Yes, you can argue it's George Foreman grill, but I still love it to this day. I think I love it. I just love it. That console means so much to me that it's still my precious little console, even though it is the fat one. But yeah, so the Super Slim kind of lost a lot of the sort of design aesthetic, but it still worked well. It was really light. It played on my games. It's absolutely perfect. I upgraded the hard drive straight up to where I was with my fat, which was 500. I put a terabyte in the fat and then it broke, so I never mucked around with that one again, but I just left it at 500. And then obviously the PlayStation Vita was my favorite console launch. I don't know why it was my favorite console launch. The PlayStation Vita just had such a strange aurora of all these things going on, and I was soaked up into that PlayStation ecosystem, and the PS Vita was just this awesome little device that was coming out, and it's like, I want to get that. And I went around and I tried to pre-order it, and none of the shops knew it was coming out. It was kind of there in the books, but no one knew what it was or when it was coming or what bundles they were doing. It was like Sony hadn't really put any effort into telling the retailers, and the retailers showed no interest in promoting the PS Vita. And I was kind of drawn to that, because everywhere I went where I live locally more or less showed that no one else had shown interest in the PlayStation Vita. And then I got a phone call when I finally got the bundle announcement where I could pick FIFA or Uncharted Golden Abyss. So obviously you went Uncharted on the base. I mean, I might live in England, but I don't give a flying about football. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, so the PS4, everyone got ramped up about the PlayStation 4 announcement. And this is kind of, I don't want to get too much into just talking about PlayStation, my history of PlayStation. Basically, the PlayStation meeting has come out and it's done PS4 Slim, which I'm perfectly happy with because they've always done it. Every single console reiteration has been at least one. PS3 had 2 revisions, which means slimmed down, the Slim and then the Super Slim. So I have no problem with that. So PS4 Slim, it was expected. I don't care. I think it looks just like a PS4, just smaller. Not bothered. If my PS4 broke, I'd go buy a Slim. Basically, is how it is. Not because I think it's better, but it's cheaper and it's exactly the same and functions exactly the same. So why would I not just go get that? But the PS4 Pro, I can't really say. I mean, my initial instinct is to be somewhat against it and negative toward it. We all knew it was happening. We all knew that Project Scorpio was coming out, although you could argue that's more or less Xbox's next-gen console. Ever since this whole PS Neo was floating around, I more or less can already tell you it's not going to be anything I'm interested in. I barely get time to play games. I've been playing games less and less since the PS4 came out. That's probably due to responsibilities and growing up and getting a house and trying to do a house up and having, you know, it's just not had the time. But that doesn't stop me getting excited. I'm getting PSVR, that's on pre-order. But the Pro was kind of, it needed to do something that was different for me to be bothered about it. And it came out and it makes no difference to me whatsoever. It basically is just a reason or a device that's going to play games in 4K if you've got a 4K TV. Which to me, I can happily wait till PlayStation 5. If PlayStation 5 is coming out, it's obviously going to be HDR, it's obviously going to be 4K. And then by that point, I might have a 4K TV, in which case it's going to be like the next jump up onto actual next-gen gaming where I can see this big difference, where they could probably push the hardware. But PS4 Pro makes no difference to me whatsoever. But my friend is interested in, he has a 4K TV, so I can totally see where the market is for it. It's absolutely unnecessary. You don't need to do it at all for the PlayStation 4. I would happily have this console for its 7-year life cycle. The fact that there's already PS5 rumors floating around and where they're going to announce it, will it be next year? It's like, really? Announce a new console next year? I barely feel I've got my money's worth out of the PS4. Maybe that's a bad thing to say, but it's like Uncharted 4 was that game that we waited for how many years? Next year should be awesome for PS4 with the likes of Horizon Zero Dawn. It feels like next year is going to be the big PS4 is going to get all these exclusives. I mean, that's sort of what sold the PlayStation 3, and I just feel that the PS4 just hasn't had that yet. It's got lots of cool games and a number of exclusive games, but PS3 just seemed to be in a completely different era of first-party games and third-party games, obviously. And it just feels PS4 just hasn't got there yet. It's the best-selling console, and they're outselling PS3 and 360 to more than double what they were in their respective life cycles. But it's like, you're just selling consoles. You're not telling me why I should care about it, or you're telling me little things of why I should care, and then they all get delayed, and it's been weird to me. It's been very, very weird. I guess I don't really have a point for this whole rant. I just wanted to more or less state my opinions on it, which is PS4 Pro is fine, release it if you want. I can understand you can either jump in at a cheaper entry point or you can pay a bit more for 4K. I think that's absolutely unnecessary. The conference itself was ridiculous. It was bad. It was very, very bad, considering how big of an event that they tried to make it feel. That it just felt like there was no planning in it. They just stuck a camera on, everything was out of cue, some guy didn't have his microphone, it was just weird and boring, and it's just, what are you doing? You know, what was the point? Couldn't you have just not done that and just done it completely differently? I don't understand. I don't understand that. But PSX is at the end of the year, so that should really come full circle, because there have been awesome shows to watch for the last 2 years. Just do PlayStation 5 when you're ready, maybe in the next 2 years, or announce it in the next 2 years. So announce it 2018, or announce it at the end of 2017 and then roll it out end of 2018. I wouldn't want to buy another PlayStation console till maybe at least 2019. That's just me, in my opinion. PS3 to PS4 just was not that gap, you know. PS2 to PS3, PS3 to PS4, you know. In a lot of ways, the PS3 did more than the PS4 does, which I still don't understand. I guess you went completely gaming rather than everything else, but I still feel everything else that you had before should still be in the same console. Just focus on gaming. So I don't know. But if my PlayStation 4 breaks, which I really hope that it doesn't, but if it decides to, I'm gonna go straight for the PS4 Slim, because it's exactly what I've got now, just smaller, aside from maybe that optical cable. But however, PlayStation VR is out next month, and that's kind of crazy because I still need to do some saving to actually be able to afford it, because it's gonna cost a lot of money without having a single game on it. But I'm really excited for it. I've got the PlayStation 4 camera. I bought that last month. I can talk to my PS4. That's stupid, right? That's really, really stupid. I love it. Any excuse I could just be like, PlayStation. PlayStation. Did work. Second time around. Doesn't matter. VR. Just a headset. Video games. But if you want to know more about my gaming history, or just me personally, or you want to ask me kind of any sort of questions, then you can by leaving a comment on this video down below, or for more direct response for Mini Bloks questions, you can send them to mbq@mail.com. I forgot to plug that last week. Thanks for watching though, because that was good. Thank you. Seriously, thanks for watching. Thank you very much for watching my video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below to stay up with the latest from my channel. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest under Mini Bloks. What else would it be? If you want to see some more video game related content, then you go check out Mini Bloks Player's Ninja Guide on episode 2 Samurai Geisha. And if you want some more toy content, then you can see me open up my first 5 Marvel Ooshes Series 1 blind bags over Mini Bloks Unbox. But for everything else, PlayStation talk and talking about toys and DVDs and games, and I have no idea what else I'm going to do next, so make sure to keep it locked to Mini Bloks, because we're like a circular cylinder of content that's related to each other. YouTube.